This is much more of an overall plan of what I have for this 40 breeder. So, about this 40 breeder, beginning of October 2022, during the Petco half off sale. I know that there is another sale, I think, going on for Black Friday. Still Petco half off. The 40 gallon breeder dimensions are 36 inches long length, so front, it's actually a width, but it's actually the left to right, viewing. That's 3 feet. I believe it's 18 inches deep, which is deeper than most of your aquariums. And that's one of the cool things about this tank, because it provides some depth. So your fish can go back there and show you what the depth is in this this viewing. And I want to say 18 inches high. I could be wrong on that one. But it came with it also bought a stand with it. 40 gallon breeder stand. Imaginarium also comes from Petco. Very easy to put together. Just me on my own with absolutely no DIY skills whatsoever. I was able to put one together in about 30 minutes. The toughest part with the 40 gallon breeder is it's kind of heavy when it's just on your own. When I bought this at Petco, it barely fit in the back of my Ford Fusion. And then, of course, I had to go get it on. I went and got it when my wife was out and my son was in school, and so it was just me pushing this 40 gallon down the stairs. And you know how it is when you like do things like that. You kind of just get under it and scooch it and hope it survives. Then I had it for a while. Now I had before that was a 29 gallon. And that 29 gallon was down here in this part of my basement as well. So we actually are down here, I'm in the dark, of our finished part of our basement here in our house here in Nebraska. And I kind of put this 29 gallon back here as a place for it. There's a good spot here right next to like a kitchenette type area. Where we got a microwave, we got a sink. It used to be like a bar. The last people that lived here turned this into a bar, but we don't really drink in this family. And so we turned it into like a pet station. Our pet's food is down at the bottom. Pet water. And so our cats eat food out of here, and then this becomes also a situation for this 40 gallon breeder. Right now in this tank, I got a Nubius growing on the left side and the right side. And so what I decided to do, kind of a landscape, but not really. It's just throwing some stuff in here randomly. That Nubius is literally 16 years old. I bought the original plants that became these plants here back in 2016, probably from PetSmart back in the day when I lived in myself in an apartment. That rock design also was from back then, and that piece of driftwood is as well. So, so obviously it's grown a lot since then, but I've chopped off pieces, put them in different tanks. Sometimes we get so much algae that choked off the growth, etc. So with this, I have a setup. Currently I have 2 sponge filters going. It's kind of over filtered for the size of the tank, but if you look at how many fish I have in this tank, it's probably a good thing I'm running so much filter. Over time, I've kind of treated this tank when it was in this spot as my community tank in the old days. It's now kind of a community tank, just overflowed with random mixed guppies as you're watching them kind of move around here. I got Vallisneria, bought that from Aquarium Co-op, maybe mid-October, November. I think it might have been like November, back in November, and I only had like 4 or 5, small plants that were part of that bunch. You get a lot for what you pay, and the trick was to take that a bunched up plant that they had all together in one pot, and then plant them in the back row area, like maybe a few inches apart. And then what that valve does is it then grows a new plant and then shoots off a runner. Grows a new plant, shoots off a runner, grows a new plant, shoots off a runner. And so that's what's been going on in this tank for a while, but for a long time this tank had green water and I could not see that occurring. And the concern was, is it actually doing what it needs to do? Now, I think what happened to green water was it kind of lowered the total amount of light was getting down, but now that light's starting to pick up, these plants are starting to flourish. Right now I'm just using Easy Green in this tank, but now that these Vallisneria have kind of taken hold and gone into the substrate, I have ordered a few root tabs to help them out and pull out some nutrients from that area. I have a few floating plastic plants. For those that don't necessarily have a breeding situation, ouch, just almost knocked myself off the chair as I hit the elliptical machine that I never use, but I bought it, because that's what you do. That plant there, it's kind of it's sort of like a beta plant, but it's really good for tiny fry, a hideout in the top. Because the big fish, and especially guppies, aren't so much ones that will track down baby fish and completely go at them, but these Bristilla tetras will. These Bristilla tetras in here are actually baby hunters, and they like to hunt them from the bottom up. So if they see a small fish swimming, on their own, boom, they're gonna dive bomb them from the bottom up. Those type of plants have some really dense undergrowth underneath them, so they don't even know the babies are up there. So for the first few days, first few weeks, they can hide up there from those other fish, get a little bit older, get a little bit bigger. Now for a team like this, I'm not really looking for every single baby to survive. In fact, I'm probably looking for maybe just less than 10% of each drop from each guppy even making it into the tank, because I don't necessarily want all this to continue, but it looks pretty darn cute when we see it like this. So it's kind of entering kind of a steady state stage here a couple months after putting it together, but it was kind of rocky at first because what I did was take the 29 gallons rocks and gravel and put it in here and put the filter in there as well, and you kind of have spikes because you had more fish in there than before. So what I'm going to do with this, it's kind of just going to be my quote-unquote showcase tank. I hope the Vallisneria will start growing faster and start growing taller and then filling up. So the middle of this tank will be kind of a grassy jungle, and then the sides will be more of my Java fern and Anubias, and then the rest of it's going to be fish. So, and then I'll continue to send fish here, that some of the nicer ones that we get out of here. The really, really nice ones will go into my select nut guppy colony that I kind of showed a 20 long of that. But a majority of these are going to go to the local fish stores here in Lincoln, Nebraska. We only have a couple. One I really work with, really nice owner over at Fish World. So if you shop at Fish World, you may have seen some of my guppies there. We don't really sell them for much, but they are very high quality, very hardy fish. They'll last you a long time. Maybe some point I might start some sort of my own online thing and have to figure out what to do with these, but for now I have enough storage for them. So I have some other tanks that might change in the future. Other than that, that's today's long update. I'm hoping to maybe see something in the next 4 or 5 months, really start working on some outdoor grow out breeding situations with some of these guys. But right now it's getting ready for the winter. Later.